Hey everybody, how are you? Happy Monday. It is Mental Wellness Monday. Super excited to be here before you today. Hope you're doing well with all the weather and everything that's going on. There is a lot of stuff going on out there, and hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying warm. Can you believe it? Southern California, we were under a tsunami watch. Like, guys, it's crazy, and nothing happened, but it was kind of exciting. So how you guys doing? I have something really fun that I thought of this weekend that I wanted to share with you, and I titled this live, "Who can you give credit to for who you are today or where you are today in a positive way? Who can you give credit to?" And I heard Gary Vee talk about this, and it really made me think, like, who would I give credit to for who I am today? And of course, I'm going to give credit to my mom and my dad and family members. Um, but if I really, really think hard about it, yes, they were totally influential. My mom loved me more than life itself. My dad would have done absolutely anything for me. And there's other family members that have been super supportive. But when I think about it, I was thinking really hard, and I would have to say it's Mrs. Weber, who was my junior high school counselor. And I hadn't thought of her in so long. And yeah, I hadn't thought of her in so long. But you know what? She is like a pivotal part of who I am today because she kind of infused in me the ability that I could do and be everything. And she accepted me exactly for who I was. And I don't know, like, I actually tried to find her a few months ago or maybe a while back, and I couldn't find her. But 100%, I have to give so much credit to Mrs. Weber. And let me tell you why. So I went to a very wealthy um, school in Valencia, but I wasn't wealthy. I was poor. And we got bused into this school, not for busing, but because there was like the only school close to us. So there was probably, I don't know, maybe 12 black people in this school that had a couple thousand people in it. And I did not bring the other black people joy. They did not like me. Even though we all lived in the same little poor community because I spoke standard English. Our family had like a little grocery store. Okay, it was not fancy. It was just this little grocery store. But meanwhile, I did not bring these people joy. So I ended up kind of hanging out with people in the school, and they were all white, and it was a really progressive school. Like, I think we figured out that literally one of my junior high school teachers was dating one of the students in my school. Like, it was crazy. Remember, this was the 70s, or actually the 60s, 75, like the late 60s. So this was like, if you thought of something kind of crazy and progressive that was going on in school, it was happening at this school. Um, and um, I remember so many things. Like, I remember the first thing Mrs. Weber did for me was, again, super affluent white school. Um, and there was this giant oak tree down the riverbed. And literally, this school was seventh, eighth, and ninth grade. And people would literally leave school at lunch and go down to this place called the tree. And it was absolutely gorgeous, the most beautiful oak tree you've ever seen. And there were sofas under there. Like, it was really nice. Like, probably the sofas under the tree were nicer than my sofas at home. And people would be down there using drugs. And I mean hard drugs, like heroin and stuff. Not me, because that wasn't my story. But I felt like those people were the realest people for me to hang out with. they weren't all bougie and trying to front. They weren't black and hated me. Like it was just so awesome. And I remember my Mrs. Weber knew that I would go down there, and so she invited me to drug group. And drug group was all those guys getting together, and then she would meet with them with counseling, and they would talk about drugs and life changes and things they could do. It was like a super positive thing, though. It was not negative. And I remember she called my mom and said, "Hey, I want Sidra to come to drug group." And my mom was like, "Okay," because my mom knew I wasn't using drugs, so she didn't care. But it was like the first time I got to express my feelings and have opinions about things. Because in my house, I didn't have any opinions. My parents did not care about how I felt about anything. They were awesome, but they were old school. They were not playing. And then I remember the other thing I did that Mrs. Weber was pivotal for was when I was in ninth grade, we had the ninth grade lawn. Did any of you guys have like something crazy like that? I remember in high school we had the senior wall. Well, we had the ninth grade lawn. And Sidra decided that I was going to have an insurrection. I was upset about something. To this day, I do not know what it was. So I had gotten all my friends together, and we were going to have a stand-in, and we were not going to leave the ninth grade lawn until we got our needs met. I have no idea what they were, but we were going to get our needs met. And I just remember sitting on the ninth grade lawn. There were like picnic tables and stuff all around. And so, we're out there, we're all fired up. And then the bell rang to go to class. And one by one, every friend left and went to class. And I was like, what the heck? I was so bummed. And you guys, I was so good in school. Well, that's a whole nother story. I wasn't perfect, but I never got in trouble. I was always just mouthy. And so I remember one by one, all my friends left the lawn and went to class. And so when the bell rang to go to class, I was the only one sitting at the table for my big insurrection. And I remember Mrs. Weber comes outside and sees me sitting at the table, had heard about the fact that there was going to be a stand-in or whatever, and comes up to me, sits by me at the table, puts her arm around me, and just says, how you feeling? And I'm like, kind of fired up about stuff, but also kind of embarrassed because now here I was with my own insurrection all by myself. And she's like, it's hard getting people on board sometimes. And sometimes things don't work out the way we think. It doesn't mean they're not important, but sometimes they don't work out the way we think. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. She goes, you want to go to class? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, great. Come in my office. I'll write you a note. And so she wrote me a note, and I went to class. She didn't embarrass me. She didn't yell at me. And I think that just carried over to who I am today. I can stand up for myself. I can take risks. I just know I can be myself. And you know what? It's worked out pretty good. So now I want to know from you, who do you give credit for who you are today? Might be somebody big, it might be somebody small, but somebody's made a difference to help you get to where you are today. So I can't wait to hear about it. Make sure you post it in the comments. And please don't ever forget that you deserve happiness now. If you see Mrs. Weber, tell her I said thank you. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.